But people often start with the first question, how much money do I need? Versus what's going to make me happy?
Welcome to Taking Care of Lady Business, where we get real about what it takes to succeed, whether it's in business, life, or both. I'm talking to game-changing and visionary women who've broken barriers, built empires, and redefined success on their own terms. They'll share their strategies, secrets, and the no BS advice you need to rise to the top. I'm your host, Jennifer Justice, also known as JJ. Let's get into it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Taking Care of Lady Business. I'm Jennifer Justice. Today, we have Lisa Chastain. She's a podcast host as well. I was just featured on hers, so thanks for that. An author and a money coach. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. I'm so grateful to be here and super excited for this conversation.
Good. Yeah. I think you have some big news to share today, right?
I do. I told you before we hopped on, I'm launching my money coaching certification today. It's been years in the making, and I'm grateful and emotional and excited. I'm so excited for the women that are going to be in the program with me. So you got me on a good day.
I love it. Well, let's get into it and talk about how you even got into talking about money and what you do.
Okay. So failure is the first thing. Massive financial failure. That was the middle of my story. It really wasn't the beginning of my story, but I found myself in a life that I didn't love in my mid-30s. I did all the right things in my 20s. I got married. I had a kid. I bought a house. I had a good career. I had a safe 401k, health insurance, all the things that my parents told me to do growing up. And I left my first career, and in my mid-30s, I woke up one day and I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I was lost. I was confused. I was sad. I was broken. So many emotional things happened for me at that point in my life, but it was a huge wake-up call. And it led me somehow into the money industry. And I think, God was pushing me in this direction for a long time. I didn't know what I was doing in the money industry, but that's where a passion sparked for me that, man, I didn't have things figured out financially as a 30-year-old woman. I thought I did. I was good at budgeting, but there was a whole lot I didn't know. And that started my journey.
What was your career before?
Higher education.
Okay.
I was an academic advisor. So I being an advisor, a coach, a mentor was something I always gravitated to. And I left at 31 years old what I thought was the top of my game. And little did I know I was totally wrong about that. But it was a good time to leave and a good time to figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
But so what were these big aha moments in money that made you realize that you didn't know what you were doing?
Oh my God. Okay. So I wasn't necessarily the breadwinner in my first marriage. He made good money. I made good money. But when I say good money, I'm a blue collar girl. My dad never really made more than $60,000 a year. So in my first career, I thought I was like living the life making $54,000 a year. Right. And what I was really good at was just managing the money, making sure money was coming in and money was going out. My ex-husband was in the service industry. So I got good at taking his cash and managing his cash. And I was good at going into debt and paying off debt. I was good at saving into my 401k moderately, but very fundamental, like cash flow things I thought I was good at. But it wasn't until money stopped flowing in when my ex-husband lost his job, when I wasn't working, that I realized that we had some big holes in our financial life and some big holes in our marriage. So budgeting, quote unquote budgeting, which I don't teach budgeting today. I don't like budgeting, was a shell of an operation for us as a household. And I needed to figure some things out. One of those things was how to make more money.
Right. Yes, that's exactly what we do here at the Justice Department. Right? Let them figure, let's help women make more money, because we can talk all we want about investing, but if you're not making any money putting that, $50 in NVIDIA, it's not gonna be, 5 million anytime soon.
Right? No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So making more money. Okay. So what were the things you were getting wrong?
Well, the first thing was that when I got into the money industry, I went in knowing, I left my first job, my first career, knowing that I wanted to work for myself. Like in the back of my head, I told myself I'm never working for anybody ever again. But then when I stepped into to become a financial advisor, I had that same mindset. I don't want to work for anybody. I want to do this on my own. I had $100,000 saved in my 401k. And in my mind, that was my startup money. I'm going to use this money to get off my feet, to get off the ground, to start generating revenue. It seemed like a really good thing to do. My mindset was way behind the industry that I was in. I found myself in a high net worth firm, faking it till I make it, or trying to anyway. And I felt like a total fraud. I was pulling money out of my 401k. I was going broke. My ex-husband was in addiction. My life was falling apart around me. I wasn't talking to anybody. And here I was, a financial advisor in a high net worth firm with a Rolex watch, a 3-piece suit, pretending to have my shit together.
Okay.
I had some work to do on my money mindset. And it wasn't until I confronted my own beliefs and also a conversation about taking radical responsibility for my future financially, because I wasn't in that conversation until I almost hit rock bottom, that things really changed. So I needed to work on my mindset as a woman, my mindset about money. I learned a lot about money, but the work started when I stopped lying to myself first and foremost, took responsibility, got out of the life that I didn't love, and started to work on the actual steps that I needed to take to become successful. And I'm still working on those every single day.
Yeah. I mean, it is a lifelong journey for sure, especially because it's so ingrained. The money is like boring and bad and we don't talk about it and etc. But like, yeah, it's a long journey. Yeah.
Yeah. My self-worth conversation was not great.
So here you are at this firm. And, for people who don't know, why is it bad to be taking money out of your 401k?
I mean, I don't know. It's not something you want to do over time. If I would have kept that money in my 401k today, a decade later, it'd be double the worth of it. I was an aggressive investor. Taking money out, I did what I had to do. And a lot of people do to fund their own business. There's a whole lot that I didn't know about building business. And I was stubborn enough to say, I'm going to do this on my own and not ask for help. So I'm glad I had the money. But the other thing was a tax consequence.
Yeah.
I paid a ton of taxes, and it took me years to pay those taxes off by pulling the money out of my 401k. But at that time, I didn't really see that there was another option. Again, I was stubborn. I wasn't asking for help. I wanted to do it on my own. And it got me where I am today. But there were some other things I probably could have done, like probably set myself up for success before I jumped in and really understood how I was going to be able to make money as a financial advisor. But my entrepreneurial mindset was like, let me just jump out of the plane and figure it out along the way. And I did. And I have. But yeah, taking money out of your 401k is not always the best option.
Right. So what would you have done? Looking back, what would you have done otherwise?
I probably would have taken my time, first and foremost, to realize that being a traditional financial advisor was not the right fit for me. I didn't do the work and build a true business plan and ask the right questions to know, hey, is this business partner going to be the right business partner for me? The answer was no. It just wasn't. I went into business with a best friend versus really look at what are we trying to accomplish together and how do my talents and her talents work together?
Yeah.
And what is the longevity of this relationship? And then second, it really wasn't set up for me to be successful. It was set up for her to be successful. So I was going to bring the clients in.
Yeah.
But in terms of making the money, I just couldn't figure out what the pathway was for me to make money in this relationship. The firm was going to make money in the relationship, not me off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
But also because I really am an entrepreneur at heart, I really shouldn't have gone into business with anybody else. I wish that I probably would have done the work to build a coaching practice versus jump into a framework that wasn't set up for me or worked best for me. I'm a great coach. And learning how to make money as a coach was a lot easier for me than within the framework of a financial advisor. So first off, it just wasn't the best fit for me. And I should have done some more research and asked better questions, more strategic questions. But again, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah, no, it's true. You have to go through it sometimes. You have to go through the bad to get to the good. You know what I mean?
I do.
Tell everyone then, what is the difference between a financial coach and a financial advisor?
Great question. The financial advisor typically is someone, most often is someone who has to go through the right steps and get the right licenses to sell financial products. FINRA and SEC define financial advisors based on the kind of financial products and financial advice they can give. It's all connected to what they sell, whether it's insurance, whether it's brokerages, so you can buy different mutual funds or different stocks and bonds. They can sell those things to you, or they can give you investment advisory advice, which I had my Series 65. So I was able to, more or less, if I wanted to, help manage that person's portfolio and give investment advice based on what their goals were.
Right.
So that's how the financial industry traditionally is set up. It's connected to licenses. Health and life insurance work the same way.
Right.
Money coaches really don't have those licenses because I don't want to manage someone's money. I don't want to manage someone's money. I don't want to tell somebody how to invest their money. And for me, all of that red tape actually turned me off from the industry because I couldn't just do what I wanted to do and help people. And that's really where the money coaching came in. Oh, I can actually just help people with cash flow. I don't need all these licenses to help people with cash flow. Oh, I just want to help people with their mindset. I don't need all these licenses to help people with their mindset. It was a lot more freedom for me and a much better fit.
So how did you go about that? How did you figure out how you would coach them and change mindsets,
Well, the first thing I did was hire my own coach.
Right.
She had been doing some money coaching. She was the one that really helped me. She was a sales coach, but helped me start my own business and figure out the actual steps that I needed to take to bring clients into my practice. I had been coaching, advisory, and mentoring my entire life. That part came easy. How do I set people up for success? Well, the first thing was I took all of my experience working at the university of helping my students set goals and achieve them, all of the personal development tools of figuring out what's the right major, who do they want to be when they grow up. Those are the same conversations that I have with my clients. Like, what are we doing here in the first place? Why does money matter? I had also gone through my own personal development training, and I had over 1,000 hours of life coach experience out the gate. So I just took all of that, what I had learned from my coach, how to actually coach someone, how to sell, which is a big part of it, put it all together. And that's where I started putting together my own coaching framework for clients.
So what do you think is the thing that most women need to understand in changing their mindset?
I write about this in my first book. And I know you and I come from somewhat similar backgrounds, humble beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own financial set point. And when it comes to financial advice, financial coaching, listening to experts, you have to ask the question, does this person understand what my financial set point is? Because someone's financial set point determines their inner dialogue when it comes to money. So for me, I grew up in a blue collar household. You work for everything. You work, basically. My dad worked. You don't take risks. You play it safe. You get a good job, and that's it. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm born to take risk. But that financial set point of scarcity, not enough, it's in my inner ear all the time. I have to battle that conversation every single day to have what I want. I'm not worthy of enough is a conversation that came from when I was a little girl. Now, if you have a different financial set point and you're raised around money and raised around wealth, you might have a different inner dialogue when it comes to your ability to earn and to keep money and to invest money. On the flip side, someone who was born around money may not have that scarcity conversation inside of them, literally inside of them. They may not come from a place of lack. And so creating and generating money and bringing money in, the formula of abundance is very different based on what your financial set point is. And so for me, I think women need to know that, appreciate that, learn to love that part of them and realize that not everybody started in the same place. And it might take someone a different kind of work to get what they want to have because of their internal dialogue and because of the emotions that come with it. That's a huge part of the work that I'm doing with my women, no matter how much money they make.
Yeah. And that probably takes a while to understand, right? And how do you get over that? What is that hump that you can get over?
I don't know if anybody ever gets over it, to be honest with you. What I've learned in neuro-linguistic programming, so part of my training, and I just keep leveling up as a coach, is in neuro-linguistic programming, those conversations, that dialogue is probably always going to be a part of you. But the emotional attachment to it, you can heal. And so there's reframing that we can do. There's timeline therapy that we can do to help shift the belief system, reframe the belief system. We can rip out beliefs and negative emotions from the root and reinstall with good, healthy thoughts when it comes to our lives and ourselves. And that ultimately for me is the deep work. It's not necessarily that it ever goes away, but it loses its power over us.
Right.
And I think that's really profound. That's really important to understand is we have all of this stuff from our childhood that if we can heal it, we can see ourselves in a new way and attract what it is that we want to attract in our lives.
Right. Yeah. It is your mindset, right? You're attracting the things that you're believing yourself, right?
Yeah. And it's also how we feel about ourselves. So if I feel like I'm unworthy, if I believe that I'm unworthy and I feel like I'm unworthy, I'm going to attract unworthy experiences and unworthy results. Unconsciously, it happens. So people ask themselves, why do I keep perpetuating this pattern in my life? Why do I keep making money and then losing it? Well, you have an internal conversation happening that you need to heal and reframe, or it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. This is what Oprah calls the whispers of our lives. If you don't listen to it, it's going to take over. And for me, that was a crash and burn moment. Those conversations, the unworthy conversations, I had to do the work to heal those things. And that's what I'm helping my clients do every day.
So what do you think are the things that we're missing in money? Like how, what are things we're doing wrong or not taking advantage of? Is it investing? Is it, whole life insurance? What are the things that we're not doing? Or is it not even a product?
Yeah. So one of the primary reasons why I wrote my book is because I feel like that's the conversation that's missing when it comes to money. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great books out there when it comes to value-based planning, and people use that conversation when it comes to money and values-based planning and values-based living has been around for a really long time. But for the money industry right now, what I'm seeing all over social media and for a lot of people that I work with, which there's nothing wrong with it, there's a lot of advice on what to do with your money,
right? Or
how to invest your money. But the missing component is, why does it matter in the first place to you? So we have a whole lot of people on this planet that are chasing the dollar. But why? Why? Because you can learn how to invest in real estate. You can learn how to invest in insurance products. I have people that are coming to me now who have millions and millions and millions of dollars in their portfolio in their 50s and 60s, and they don't know what the meaning of their life is. So they've built this huge empire financially, and they're like, wait a minute, when does this rat race end? And when can I enjoy my life? That for me is the most important question of all to ask first. What do I need to heal? Who am I? What does success really mean to me? How can I live a happy, whole, and fulfilled life? And then how much money is it going to take? But people often start with the first question, how much money do I need? Versus what's going to make me happy?
Mm-hmm. So when people are going through this exercise with you, usually, how long does it take? Is it years transformation?
It can. Sometimes is a short answer. Sometimes all the person needs is a reframe or a shift in the way that they see their life. So that can happen as 1 or 2 sessions. I do full day breakthroughs with clients. They're 10 hours. They're intense. They're huge emotional releases. People heal when they're ready to heal. And I think for some people, they say that they're ready. They may not be, so it might take longer.
Yeah.
But financial progress does take time. So we can heal things and then keep working. I have some clients I've been working with for years because there's elevation. And I don't know how you describe this in your world, but we all have our own glass ceiling in life.
Yeah.
So we might break through that first glass ceiling. So for me, it was $60,000 a year. Oh my God, I made 6 figures for the first time. As soon as I jumped out to be a coach, I made 6 figures. That was my first glass ceiling. But then there's another. What's it going to take to get to $1 million? What's the mindset that I need to get to 1 million? What's the worthiness that I need to feel about myself in order to attract that next level? And then the next level, and then a next level. So we're constantly leveling up, which is why coaches, I think, can have clients for a good amount of time as long as people are willing to do the work.
All right. So the philosophy is that, once you get to a certain, you're the one who's holding yourself back. All right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But we don't know what we don't know. And I don't think that we do it intentionally, because 95% of our lives is lived in the unconscious mind. And our unconscious mind's prime directive is to hold back and bring down, basically suppress anything with negative emotion. It does that to keep us safe. So if we have unresolved negative emotion attached to any event in our life, our unconscious mind says, whoop, not safe. You don't have the tools. We don't know how to resolve this. We're just going to tuck it into our unconscious mind. That becomes our unconscious operating system, going back to life before the age of 7. So if we have all of this unresolved stuff that we're not even aware of, it's going to take some time and tools and methodologies to pull it out, to look at it, to deal with it, to heal it, so that we can move forward. So we don't know what we don't know, which is why I say money is so emotional, and it's for that reason.
All right. So when you go back to, let's say somebody's going through your thing, right? But their education is such that they're not used to making that much money, or their business is that and on the other side, we see all the time getting fed these things. I make $500,000 a month in coaching. I'm sorry. How can you do that with your personal time?
Yeah. No.
It's not even possible. And they're like 24.
Bullshit. It's bullshit.
It's total bullshit. It's obvious. It's as a lawyer, I charge by the hour. I have so many hours in a day. There's only so much money you can possibly make.
That's right.
And I did this in 18 months. It's who's coming to you, and how do you still have there's got to be people who are very upset if that's really what they're doing. Right. So, how do you balance those things? You know what I mean? Especially because there's so much crap out there and people giving advice when they have no business giving advice. And then, you have people who want to make more money. They want to get out of a mindset, but at the same time, it's that's not their education and that's not their business,
Yeah. It's not their education. It's not their business. It's not their set point.
Yeah.
So first of all, where are you operating from? There's a distinction, there's so much that we can dig into, but I want to lay this distinction out because I think it's really important when it comes to coaching, is that great coaches don't give advice. And what you're speaking into is actually a lot of people out there that are selling you.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling you. They're not coaching you. There's a difference there too. So you get sold into a coaching program connected to results that seem just wild and amazing, but these people don't necessarily know how to coach you. Therefore, you're not going to get the result. I see people come to me all the time from that place. Also, projection. There's a lot of coaches that are projecting onto us their own thoughts, their own methods, their own beliefs. But again, we all have our own set point. And so if it's not one that resonates with us, we're going to bounce into their world and bounce right back out because it's not language that resonates with us. We can only see in the world what exists within us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there's motivations. Some people are away from motivated. This is huge when it comes to money. A lot of people are running away from what they don't want. But as long as they're running away from, their motivation is to get away from what they don't want. For example, scarcity, fear, anxiety, guilt, shame. That thing still has to exist in order for them to feel motivated. So what happens? Someone who maybe like me, I was raised in a blue collar family and I wanted to get out of the life that I was in. But if I didn't heal that part of me and realize that I had away from motivation, I was trying to get away from something I didn't want, I just kept perpetuating those patterns because the thing that I didn't want, scarcity, had to exist in order for me to feel motivated. So I'd make more money, make more money, make more money, make more money, make more money. But if I got too far away from the motivation of getting away from scarcity, what would I do? Lose it all, go into a ton of credit card debt, so that I could feel motivated again to get out of debt. You have to realize if you're operating from there, which most Americans are, I think, they're living paycheck to paycheck because their unconscious mind is creating opportunities for them to get out of something versus into a life that they truly want. But again, it's so unconscious, we don't realize we're in that cycle, in that pattern.
So when you're talking about real tactical, I know it's like very heady. So it's like,
Yeah, I know.
you're talking real tactical things. What you're saying is that people keep continuing to lead the same lifestyles. And even if you are making more money, you still have that lifestyle creep, basically. So it keeps you motivated.
That's possible. So if someone wants out, let's say someone didn't grow up with brand name clothing growing up. That was me. Never had brand name clothing. I might identify success with brand name clothing because we see it out in the world. We're being sold it all the time, right? Little Lisa, 31-year-old Lisa, got a raise and went and bought a Rolex. Why did I do that? Was that the best financial decision for me to make? Absolutely not.
Right.
Could I afford it? No. I financed it. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to appear successful. Why do people drive Maseratis or drive cars or have big purses that they can't afford? Because they want to appear a certain way. They're trying to hack their way into a lifestyle, right?
Right.
Can they afford it? Probably not. Or are they really connected to what's going to bring them joy out of this, or how does it serve the purpose in their life? I know gazillionaires who look like they're homeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it doesn't match, right? It doesn't match.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with like
things.
finance, all the people in finance, like they don't yes, obviously some of them have their own planes, but people work for them, make a lot of money. They all fly coach. They don't fly first class.
That's right.
They look at those people and laugh.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lifestyle creep is a part of like them not slowing down long enough to really think about what is the ultimate value of their life and what is it that they really truly want, what's going to make them happy. They just get into this hamster wheel of life.
Right.
That's an unconscious happening for so many people.
Yeah. So you go to that root of it all. And then, so you said something about budgeting and that you hate budgeting. Is that why? Is that like, what's that all about?
Yeah. So
why are you hating on budgeting?
well, budgeting's been taught as this one size fits all approach to money, and that you have to have a budget in order to have what it is that you want in your life. And it's taught from a place of this is the one thing, this is the magical solution. But the truth is, if it was the magical solution, why are the majority of Americans still living paycheck to paycheck? It's not. It's a system that fits people into a box, gives them an answer, a solution. But I've seen hundreds of clients come to me who have budgets, who are in financial turmoil, filled with shame, anxiety, and fear. So they're not even really using the budget. So let's just stop this conversation and get into a more meaningful conversation. And if you're familiar with the DISC profile or other personality profiles, not everybody thinks so analytically that they're able to maintain a rigid budget. Life is a lot more fluid than that. Life is a lot faster than what a budget might help you do. And if you don't have other systems in place and you don't have the mindset to match, your budget's going to fail over and over again. And for so many people, it does. And then on the other side of it, I have really wealthy people come to me and on podcast interviews and they're like, yo, sidebar, I don't budget either. I'm like, I know you don't, because a lot of people don't budget and they're still financially successful. So why are we talking about it over and over again? It causes more shame, more guilt for people. Ditch it. And let's find some healthier ways for you to manage your money, simpler ways for you to manage your money.
What is a simpler way to manage your money than budgeting? Knowing like you're making more than you're spending. Really? Isn't that budgeting? Making
more than you're spending?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about the analytical budgeting sheets or the spreadsheets that go to like every dollar, every penny. Right. People don't want to manage
you're
their
like,
money.
You say like you want $200, you'll spend, $200 to eat out in a month. Although in New York, it's impossible to do that.
You're lying to yourself. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just have people set up 3 simple accounts. Have your main operating account. Start teaching your mind that there's different purposes for money. This is what millionaires do. They've got accounts all over the place for different purposes. You've got real estate tucked aside. You've got mutual funds in one place. You've got high yield savings accounts in one place. If your mind can see that your money is in a place specifically for a reason, it's going to be a lot easier to make decisions from that place. The one thing that transforms my clients' relationship with money very quickly is they put their money in a spending account. They have it there to spend. They do it on a weekly basis. And then they can just make choices. Do I want this or that in the moment? Do I have $100? Do I have $1,000 in this moment? What am I going to do with it? It's a much simpler way of making decisions financially.
Okay. So you put all of the must aside, right?
Right.
Your mortgage or rent, whatever it is, your car payment, your whatever. And then the rest can go into this like spending kind of situation.
That's right. The other thing that I teach my clients to do is fund a travel bucket. Most of my clients are women and they want to travel.
Yeah.
So you're going to go into debt if you want to travel and you want to take a vacation and you work really hard for it. If you don't have money set aside, you're just going to, because it's a non-negotiable in your life. So stop telling yourself that you're going to save over spend money on different experiences that you want in your life. Life is short. So a savings account, you should have multiple savings accounts. Honestly, one of those should be an expense, a bucket for experiences, for concerts, for fun, for joy.
Right.
And that is not something that the finance industry talks about a whole lot, because it's save, you know?
And it's also, interesting because, Gen X in particular cares so much more about experiences than assets, right?
They do. Well, they're younger too. Oh, Gen X. Did you say Gen X or Gen Z?
Oh, sorry. Gen Z. Gen Z.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to enjoy their lives. And we're seeing them change the way that people are consuming because they value experiences over things. They're not buying houses the way that boomers used to buy houses, right? They're like, I don't even know if I want to own a home ever. They're waiting later to have kids because they want to experience their lives differently.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, that's part of it, right? That whole like American dream and owning a house. Like if you're in New York City, owning a house is not financially lucrative for the most part.
Yeah. I have clients in New York City that are paying above $6,000 a month for an apartment.
Oh, that's like low end, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nothing.
Right. So owning property seems like a pipe dream.
Yeah, exactly. Well, plus you have to pay on top of the mortgage, you have to pay maintenance fees, which are usually mortgages in any other town other than New York City. So it becomes much more difficult. Right. Right. And so what is it? What's your end goal here? What is everything, that you want to accomplish here, and how are you reaching everybody?
I want women to have more money and to keep more money and to control more money. My end goal is for people to confront their money mindset and do the healing that they need to do so that we can transform this planet, and it's going to take women to do it.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
It's exactly what we're doing too. Yes.
Yeah.
We do it in a different way, helping them understand like, what I end up having a lot of are women coming to me, and usually millennials, Gen X, I mean this time. And, they got to a certain place in their career and they haven't ever really negotiated their contracts or their salary. People either kind of just gave them their, more money, and they kind of say, oh, well, I'm so lucky that they came to me first, right? And not really maximized everything they've done. But then what ends up happening is they want it all to go back right now and happen right now. But it just won't. You're never going to make up all that lost income over time and get everything you want just because you hired somebody to help you, right? Are you seeing that kind of issue in your coaching as well?
Yeah, women have a harder time asking.
Right.
And honestly, I think it needs to shift from asking and empowerment to demanding it.
Yeah.
We must demand more for ourselves first and foremost. And then that will translate into every other area of our life.
Yep, I agree. Totally. So yeah, you're like speaking our language. Like we're hitting it from all different angles, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I am so grateful at the age of 45 years old that I have figured some of this stuff out. Have I figured everything out? No. Am I still working on it personally? Yes.
Right.
And I feel privileged that people are bringing their feelings, their shame, their fear, their anxiety. They're coming with that to their conversations with me because that's where we can do our best work. If we can just drop the facade and say, I'm scared. I don't know how to do this. I don't know where I'm headed. Let's figure it out together. Let's have this conversation together. And I think women do that more masterfully than men.
Yeah.
Which is why I love your platform, because let's just have the conversation.
Right.
We don't have to be perfect and we don't have to be gazillionaires to be in the conversation. Let's start with where we are and let's do the work together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I even wrote in my newsletter last week about like money doesn't, buy you happiness. I mean, because I had said that in something, I think with you, but I was like, no, I don't even believe that actually. That's not true because it buys you convenience. It buys you choice, over yourself, your family, buys you freedom. So it does. I mean, there's such thing as too much, right? That can have other, implications, etc. We're watching it play out in the news right now.
Oh my God, I know. Wow.
Too much social media fodder, but yeah.
When you have your finances and total control of your finances as a woman, you have autonomy.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
We have sexy money. We have fuck you money. We have money that we don't have to stay in a relationship. We don't have to stay at a job.
Mm-mm.
We don't have to do anything that doesn't serve us at the highest level. And those are the breakthrough conversations that are happening real time with me. And I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming here today. I only have one more question, which I ask everybody who comes onto this. And that is, what is the worst advice you've ever received?
In business, it was cast a wide net. Go after everyone. It was the worst advice. I'm on a mission to help the woman that I was born to help. Now, am I helping men? Yes.
Yeah.
But when I got clear in my heart about what my purpose is, everything turned around. My business turned around. My life turned around. And so stop trying to please everyone for the love of God.
Yeah.
And also, if you own a business, you can't help everyone. Pick the people that you were born to help.
So true. Amazing. Thank you so much, Lisa. Okay. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us about your podcast, how they find you as a money coach, and a little bit more about what you launched today.
Yeah. So at Savvy Money with Lisa on Instagram, you can find me there, chat with me there. My podcast is Real Money with Lisa Chastain. That's on all the major podcast outlets. And if you want to learn more about me and my programs, go to lisachastain.com. We'll plug you in. My money coaching certification just launched, so look out for another launch next year.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So informative. I know so many people are going to be like, oh, right. It's not really that I didn't invest in NVIDIA. I have to understand why I want to invest in it. If
That's
I still
right.
do. Exactly.
Still do it, but know why.
Exactly. Right. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to this episode of Taking Care of Lady Business. Until next time, I'm Jennifer Justice. Thanks to MedJet for supporting the Lady Business podcast. If you're hospitalized or your security is threatened while traveling, they can get you home. I'm a MedJet member and have been for years. Everyone who travels should be. Enroll before your next trip at medjet.com. Thanks for tuning in to Taking Care of Lady Business. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. And also share this episode with a friend who needs that extra push to own their success. If you want more strategy, stories, and exclusive content, follow us on TikTok at Taking Care of Lady Business, on Instagram at thejustice.dept and Jennifer Justice L, or visit our website at thejusticedept.com. Taking Care of Lady Business is a production of Lady Business LLC.